Happy Easter, friends. This is Sister Marla Clerks. I hope as you celebrate this Easter that you are indeed filled with that joy of this holy day, and that you can look at your own life and to feel that sense of new life within you, that sense of change that has happened as you have completed your journey of the 40 days of Lent. Quite often when we celebrate Easter, our main focus, our whole focus, is on the empty tomb, that signifying the resurrection of Christ, and rightly so. But what I like about John's Gospel is the focus is also on the linen cloth or the burial cloths that have been left behind. Pointed out when Peter goes into the tomb and the other disciple as well, that those are the things they see. They don't comment on the tomb being empty, but they comment on seeing only those cloths left behind. And I think that leads us to ask ourselves a powerful question of, as we come to this Easter celebration, what is it that we left behind? What did our 40 days of a Lenten journey allow us to shed, allow us to drop, to let go of in order to come to the fullness of new life? The area I focused on during Lent was what I saw as a lack of discipline developing in my own life, whether that was a lack of discipline in prayer, in serving others, or in using my own life and the gifts God has given me in as generous a way as possible. And I realized that in coming to this celebration of Easter, I've left behind a cloth, but perhaps I'm still hanging on to another one as well. Maybe it's because I've grown a little too comfortable with it, maybe because 40 days wasn't quite enough for me. But I do know that I let some go, but I'm probably still hanging on to some. And so it invites us to look at our own lives and ask ourselves that question. Did I leave behind the fullness of my burial cloths, what it was I needed to let go of in order to fully celebrate new life? Or did I bring a little one out with me? Did I bring a piece of a cloth with me as I left that tomb of Lent? Did I bring with me a little bit of that judgment of others? Was there still someone that I choose not to love or to forgive? Have I grown a little too comfortable with something, or I'm just not quite ready to let it go, to turn it over fully to God? And I think as we enter these 50 days of the Easter celebration, that's a good question for us to ask ourselves. Are we wrapped up in the fullness of that new life? Have we allowed our Lenten journey to change us? Have we allowed God to change us, to bring about a fullness of life? Or do we maybe need to revisit our tomb, to take another cloth back to it? And so I think these 50 days that we have to celebrate Easter are a good time to look at our own lives again, but now through the eyes of newness. Have we fully come to the newness that God encouraged us to come to during our Lenten journey? Have we allowed others to come to their own newness of life as well? Or is there still maybe a cloth we're hanging on to that we need to go back and to make sure we leave it behind? Friends, this season is a season full of joy as we see the new life in creation, as we experience the new life in our churches and the celebrations and the decorations, as we see it on the joy and the smiles, the faces of those we celebrate with and those we love. But hopefully we also feel it intensely within our own selves, knowing that we have allowed God to bring new life to us, a new life that God now asks us to share with our world.